Right now at 6, St. Louis city leaders promise emergency system changes after firing a top official.
And we've got a hot and sunny day really out there for us, but seasonably hot. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a plane mysteriously crashes in Grove, Oklahoma.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe. Oh, it's 6 a.m. I read that wrong.
That's
like,
all right.
It looks like 6 to me over there.
I mean, you know, it's all the same thing, right? We're still here. We're still doing the KOAM Morning News, and whatever time you're joining us, you can. Yes. And of course, you can rewind on the live stream and go back and watch the 5 a.m. if you missed it for any reason. Of course, it is Thursday, August the 21st, and a very good Thursday we have ahead of us in terms of our forecast. Not too hot, not too cold, not too bad at all. Let's start with a live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear this morning, and they will remain that way until a little bit later, and we'll start to see just a few clouds. Modoc Hammer 20th and Range Line in Joplin looks great as well as folks get their day underway. And the Future Track looks fantastic too. Again, as I mentioned, just a few clouds as we head through the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours, so not too bad at all. I know Future Track's throwing up these little green splotches. Pay no attention to them. We have 0 rain chances for us today, but we'll start to see some as we roll into the weekend and the start of next week. We're sitting at 67 in Joplin, 66 in Pittsburgh. So again, average low about 70. We have had some locations about 70, but we're falling back just a wee bit. So all of us into the upper 60s, mid to upper 60s this morning. So a cool start, but not significantly cool, at least compared to our average low for this time of year, which also means kids getting on the bus. Not a bad start to the day. Upper 60s, clear skies, few clouds by lunch and recess, mid 80s out there. And when the bus brings them back, right about 90. That's where our highs for today are headed, about 90 degrees. We'll start upper 70s by 9, mid 80s by noon. I'll have a few clouds again into the afternoon and evening. Northeast breeze 5 to 10. Still will be a bit muggy. You may have noticed that even over the last couple of days where our temperatures have dropped a bit, but still a bit. We're looking at heat index values today at approximately the mid 90s. So again, not extreme, but still a bit on the uncomfortable side. Now we're going to stay seasonably hot for the next few days. Then we've got some really big changes coming to our forecast, especially with our temperatures. As we roll into the last week of August, we'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. So the city of St. Louis has fired Emergency Management Commissioner Sarah Russell following an investigation into the city's response to the May 16th tornado. The report cited multiple failures, including a breakdown in communication that resulted in warning sirens never sounding. City leaders now promise changes to ensure the system works when it's needed most. Well, federal authorities began an investigation into a plane crash in Grove, Oklahoma yesterday morning. The crash happened around 8:30 at the Grove Regional Airport. Although the investigation is underway, what authorities do know is a private plane landed at the airport, then flipped over onto its top. The owner/pilot of the fixed-wing single-engine plane suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Well, a man suffering from a rare infection has died in a St. Louis area hospital recently. We brought you the story of a Missouri resident who had contracted a brain infection typically caused by an amoeba. Public health officials investigating the source of the patient's exposure believe the infection could have come from water skiing at the Lake of the Ozarks. While infections remain rare, experts say the amoeba can be found in warm freshwater across the United States. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services confirms the man died yesterday. Well, clean up your yard or the city will do it for you, and you'll be picking up the tab. That's the new warning from the city officials in Iola, Kansas, who say they're fed up with repeat offenders ignoring yard cleanup rules. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, after handing out fine after fine with little change, city leaders are now pushing for a tougher ordinance, one that would allow them to step in, clean up the mess, and send the bill straight to the homeowner.
Most of the stuff that's in the yard is not trash. We just need to find a place to put it.
Robin Evans is an Iowa resident. She says she's been getting a number of violations from the city about her yard. But Evans says she's going through some tough times.
We lost our shop last year. We moved everything from our house to our shop, and the building got bulldozed last year.
Evan says she's sick of the city giving her a hard time about her yard, but the city says they are too. They say they already have an ordinance in place, but it needs to be stricter.
We're adding to the ordinance a clause that will give the city the authority to go on the property and clean it up should the resident not comply with the court order.
I get that we need to clean up the trash. I understand that.
French says the offending resident will fit the bill if the city cleans their yard. And French says you better pay or else.
The debt will go on the property.
City Manager Matt Ryder says this ordinance needs to pass.
We do have some properties that get fined and fined and fined, and they just aren't being cleaned up. And this gives us the teeth to actually do that.
Request an additional 10 days if they need it to clean up their property. So we're trying to continue to work with individuals.
They have been harassing us for 8 years since we moved here. Any little thing that we have on our property, they are constantly sending us letters. If he has his trailer in the yard, he gets a letter for it.
And the family says they're doing all that they can to get things back in order. They say any professional that's willing to help, they would greatly appreciate it. Reporting in Iola, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The city manager says the ordinance goes before the council on Monday. He thinks the bill will have no problems passing. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Hurricane Erin brings tropical storm conditions to Virginia and North Carolina. Plus, KU football fans get a completely reinvented game day experience at Memorial Stadium. And warm and sunny conditions. Chris has another look at today's forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 6:06. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the Lamar Free Fair. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Hurricane Erin is turning by North Carolina and Virginia, threatening residents with dangerous waves and winds topping 110 miles per hour. The storm is not expected to make landfall, but the governor of North Carolina has declared a state of emergency, warning that conditions can deteriorate quickly. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Waves thrash the North Carolina coast as Hurricane Erin approaches, creating tropical storm conditions today in North Carolina and Virginia.
What does that mean? Incredibly dangerous riptides, very strong surf, and of course tidal flooding.
The massive Category 2 storm is hundreds of miles from shore, but with mandatory evacuation orders in effect, parts of the Outer Banks aren't taking any chances.
It's a serious storm, and conditions can deteriorate quickly.
Still, some North Carolina residents say they're staying put.
I've lived here almost 40 years. I've never evacuated. Not yet.
Hundreds of beaches along the East Coast are closed to swimmers, with waves expected to reach as high as 20 feet. A surf competition in Virginia was canceled, but that didn't stop some of these guys from hitting the water.
This is our favorite time of year because we actually get waves.
Erosion is also a big concern as the ocean creeps further inland. Some folks in New Jersey say they think the coast is more resilient now, nearly 13 years since Superstorm Sandy devastated the region.
Prior to Sandy, there were large boulders, if you will. They cemented all the stones and they built this. So there's a really nice barrier between the ocean and our homes.
Hurricane Erin is expected to strengthen later today, then weaken as Friday rolls in. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Well, some areas along the East Coast, like Philadelphia, are also bracing for scattered thunderstorms that have nothing to do with the hurricane. The National Weather Service says those storms could also bring heavy rain and flash flooding to parts of the eastern and south central U.S. Well, still to come, KU Athletics transforms Memorial Stadium into what officials call a future home field advantage. Plus, Chris has another look at your Thursday forecast. We'll be right back. Well, fans headed to Lawrence this fall can expect more than just football on game day with major upgrades to David Booth Memorial Stadium. KU is blending tradition with transformation. Michaela Dia reports.
Another way to view it is that notion of not a bad seat in the house.
With phase 1 of the project complete, KU football has reinvented its game day experience while honoring its past. Plus, there will be lots of new concessions, plus new seat backs for fans to enjoy.
There's a personal story, I think, that was written with this venue in the thoughtfulness, talking about our history, talking about the things that make the University of Kansas unique and special. And I think for all of us, Chancellor all the way through, there was that deeply embedded commitment to that.
I'm really excited and really proud as I walk through this new stadium and see the history of the University of Kansas. If you look in every corner, everywhere you turn your head, every concession stand, every suite, it talks about the history and the tradition that we have here at the university.
And when we have a chance to finish out that East, I think we're going to have created what we think will be one of the best home field environments, home field advantages in the country.
Officials say this is just the beginning with more upgrades planned. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, take a look at this shot from 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. An absolutely beautiful sunrise once again across the area. Got a seasonably hot day ahead of us. We'll have a complete look at your forecast and some rain chances and much cooler weather on the way. When we come back, time now 6:16. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:19 now on this Thursday morning. Sorry with a quick look outside from downtown Pittsburgh. Again, got a great sunrise. Few clouds off to our east, and then eventually we'll have a few clouds overhead a little later today. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin looks fantastic as well as a few more folks start to get their Thursday commute underway. A few more cars on the road this time of day now that school's back in session as of yesterday, of course, in Joplin. So a few more folks heading out, maybe getting the kids some donuts or something to start the day. Whatever the case may be, and it's a really nice start to the day. It's not going to be too bad of a day for us heading into the afternoon. Just a few clouds here and there. A light northeasterly breeze as we go overnight. Temperatures tonight drop below normal. Winds will be calm, so a chilly start to our Friday. Now, Friday, even though we have that below normal start, we're still going to be seasonably hot as we go back into the 90s. I'll have just a few clouds out there. It's Saturday, though, that we start to see an opportunity, at least for some of us, some isolated pop-up storm chances. So we'll start to go partly cloudy through the morning hours on Saturday. Then we'll have, again, those chances for some isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Nothing widespread. Unfortunately, a lot of us will remain dry, as is the typical case with these pop-up storms, but we'll have those as we head into Saturday evening. And then we have a few more rain chances as we roll into next week and a big change in temperatures, which we'll discuss in just a moment. All right, low 70s to start. Another great view of that sunrise from 7th and Rangeline. Clear skies and into the mid-80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon we go. Highs right about 90, so it's seasonable. It's still going to be a bit on the muggy side, so we'll have heat index values maybe approaching the mid-90s, so not terrible, but still somewhat uncomfortable. Northeast winds 5 to 10. Still somewhat mild through the evenings into the upper 70s by 10, but as we lose the heating of the day, we'll have clear sky, or mostly clear skies tonight. Look at these lows back into the low to mid 60s, and our average low is about 70. Then, as we roll into Monday, again, remember with the future track going this far out, this is not rain everywhere all at once, but this is where our opportunity for scattered showers, maybe a few pop-up showers and storms will be. I will see also an opportunity as we roll into Tuesday afternoon and evening as well, and maybe even a couple more as we head into Wednesday. But again, nothing significant, nothing super widespread, but a few showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder will be possible. But the biggest impact all of that's going to have is our temperatures dropping well below average for this time of year. So low 90s through Saturday, so near average. Our overnight lows already falling back a bit below normal. Sunday, look at this, upper 80s. Not bad, clear skies. And then we drop into the upper 50s. Got a boundary coming in, it'll pass close, and we'll get those rain chances. And then look at these temperatures. Again, our average high this time of year, around 89, 90 degrees. we are going to be into the upper 70s, some low 80s. And look at these lows. We should be about 69, 70. We've got lows falling back into the upper 50s and low 60s with a few more shower and thunderstorm chances toward the end of next week. But as we roll into the last week of August, it's going to start to feel a lot more like the first week of October, last week of September out there with much more comfortable temperatures. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, in a break from current recommendations from the Centers for Disease Control, another medical group says infants and young children should get COVID-19 vaccine shots. The American Academy of Pediatrics says all children 6 to 23 months should get vaccinated unless they have known allergies, and a single dose for some kids ages 2 to 18. Now, while this CDC argues COVID-19 shots for kids 6 months to 17 years should be based on shared clinical decision making. And a majority of teens with depression in the U.S. aren't receiving treatment. A University of Tennessee study found only 47% of adolescents aged 12 to 17 who had a major depressive episode say they got any kind of treatment. Black teens and teens living in rural areas had the lowest levels of mental health treatment. Eating more omega fatty acids could protect women against Alzheimer's disease. A King's College London study found women with Alzheimer's had lower levels of omega fatty acids than healthy women. Researchers say women should make sure they eat enough omega fatty acids, either through fatty fish or supplements. The study also noted men didn't seem to get the same benefit. Well, experts say Americans are reading drastically less than they used to, and it's bad for our education and our health. A University of Florida study found daily reading for pleasure has dropped 40% over the last 20 years and could be due to the rise of digital media, less leisure time, and less access to books and libraries. Researchers say reading for pleasure supports mental health, empathy, creativity, and lifelong learning. That's a look at Health Watch this morning. Stick around. We'll be right back with news and weather right after this. Right now at 6:30, safety and schedules are a priority on the first day of classes for Joplin grade schoolers.
And we've got a nice start to the day and a pretty decent day ahead of us. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a Southeast Kansas community could soon lose its city-owned grocery store.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:27. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Thursday, August the 21st. And of course, we've been hot, but seasonably hot over the last few days. Nothing too bad. And that will continue for a little bit. And then next week, we have a huge temperature drop on the way, which will be very nice. And we'll talk about that a little later. But first, we need to get your day started with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, where we've got a few clouds off to our east. Otherwise, looking fantastic this morning. Same from the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin, looking back to the north as folks get their day underway. And the future track also looks really nice, too. Take a look. Just a few clouds out there this afternoon. You're seeing those little green splotches. Pay no attention. These are not the green splotches you are looking for, as they're not expecting any rain chances, just a few clouds here and there. Really nice day. Seasonably hot, though, so it's still hot. Now, don't get me wrong. I know 90 degrees or so is hot, but it's been worse, and it's only going to get better over the next several days. All right, 67 in Joplin right now, 66 in Pittsburgh. Average low is about 69, 70 degrees, and nobody's at that point. Some of us are close. Bentonville, Jay, Neosho, 69 out there, but most of us mid-upper 60s to start the day. A very nice start to the day, which also means kids getting on the bus this morning, especially those who went to school last week when it really was awful. Not going to be so awful. We're looking at clear skies, upper 60s, getting on the bus this morning, heading out the door, mid-80s by lunchtime or recess time, and a few clouds out there, about 90 when the bus brings them home or they start heading back home. That's where our highs are headed, 90. Upper 70s by 9, mid-80s by noon, 90 degrees for our highs. Still a bit muggy, though, so that does mean we're looking at heat index values today, maybe approaching the mid-90s, so just be prepared for that. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable, but not be awful. Now, we're going to stay seasonably hot heading into the weekend. And then next week brings big changes to our temperatures, and I mean big changes, especially for August. We'll have a full look at your forecast, break down those changes, and some rain chances on the way here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. Well, as the school year kicks off yesterday, students at George Nettles Elementary in Pittsburgh celebrated with the House of Dragon balloon popping party. The celebration is part of a redesign of the school's social, emotional, and character education program, drawing inspiration from the theme How to Train Your Dragon and Harry Potter. The kids were full of excitement as they discovered which of the 4 houses they belong to during their time at the school. Educators hope the program will give students a sense of community throughout their years at George Nettles.
It's so intimidating, especially for my students who may not speak the same language. They get to come in, and on day one, they have a family, they have a house, they have community. And for all students that, starting a new school or a new school year with new classmates, that can be intimidating, but to know, oh, my family's got my back, my house has got my back.
Now, through the program, students will have the opportunity to form deeper connections as they'll be grouped with classmates from all grade levels. And Joplin Public Schools started the school year yesterday. KOAM's Ty Parks was at Soaring Heights Elementary when the doors opened yesterday morning and brings us the story.
Kind of exciting, kind of scary, mostly exciting.
The bell rings again at Soaring Heights Elementary and the students are back in class. All of this takes months of behind-the-scenes work.
Preparation for the first day is huge. So we start months in advance, planning out our master schedule, making sure that all students have equity to access and instruction. We also start setting goals together as a team to decide what we're going to focus on this year. And then the teachers start showing up several weeks in advance to prepare classrooms so that they're absolutely perfect learning environments for all of our kids.
Students file in, but today is about learning something different than math and science.
Today we are remembering what it means to be a student and that we have to share our building with over 500 people. So we're used to doing what we want when we want at home, but at school we have to remember that we have to share space. So today is all about remembering what our expectations at school to stay safe and to stay learning.
Teachers invest heavily in the future of their students.
So my teachers have leaned in very heavily into we want Soaring Heights students to be the leaders at East Middle School, and then we want them to be the leaders at the Joplin High School, and we want our kids to stay in Joplin and be community leaders in the future. So it is a big investment at our school.
Like a well-oiled machine.
My 5th year at Soaring Heights, and I have already had 5 teachers tell me this is our best first day ever, and it's not even midway through the day. So all of the practice paid off. Everybody feels very confident today.
I know people. You play games to get to know everyone and learn procedures and stuff.
At Soaring Heights, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Now the students will continue to relearn what it takes to share the building with more than 500 students. Then the classwork begins. Well, South Middle School Principal Jacob Williams has been named the Southwest Missouri Middle School Principal of the Year by the Missouri Association of Secondary School Principals. He says, quote, "I'm truly humbled by this honor. If there's anything I've done to deserve recognition like this, the credit belongs to the incredible people I get to work with every day at South and across Joplin schools. It is a privilege to work alongside such talented, compassionate, and dedicated educators." Well, there won't be any Friday night lights at Springfield's oldest high school stadium this fall. That's because Central High School will not be competing on the varsity level. Emma McDarris talks to the district's athletic director and football player about the decision.
Woke up at 6 in the morning, went to football, then had a 10-minute break in between, went home, got food, then went to work, then went right back to football, and I barely saw my family. You know, my siblings, they're about 2 years old, so they go to bed really early. And that was all summer because I was committed to this. You know, I had an urge for it, you know, and I love my team.
David Bituk is a senior football player at Central High School who says he feels betrayed with SPS's decision to cancel the Bulldogs varsity season.
AD of Central came last minute and told us that we're not allowed to play varsity season because lack of upperclassmen and because safety concerns, which he was only there for 4 practices for 10 minutes. So we feel like he really didn't even get to see the whole picture. And we feel disrespected as a team and as a school too, because he didn't even give us a chance. And, you know, that's our administrator and they're supposed to be behind us. So we feel really betrayed on that part.
The athletic director for Springfield Public Schools, Josh Scott, says part of his duty is to make sure students are playing against teams with similar age and skill level.
Looking at the realistic situation of, are we going to have freshmen, and that's 14-year-old boys to play against 17-year-old young men, and we thought the best way to build the program and have a football program in the future was to build them up through a JV schedule and have our freshmen, juniors, and our sophomores play together, and then hope to talk to our opponents to give our seniors the ability to play also, so that they could still play football their senior year. It would just be at the JV level.
Scott says the players will still be able to grow in their skills and as a team.
They still have an opportunity to be a part of Bulldog football family, and they still have an opportunity to make our school better and how they act and interact within the schools on a daily basis. This is not a decision that anyone wanted to make, but with the numbers and safety purposes, it's a decision that we had to make.
Well, canceling the varsity season will not just affect players, but band members, cheerleaders, and the color guard. The athletic director says the district is standing by their decision for this school year. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can always download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Missouri River Gulf outlet, once dubbed a hurricane highway, remains without a finalized restoration plan nearly 20 years after Katrina. The Army Corps of Engineers says it's close to an agreement, but not quite there yet. Local leaders and environmentalists say full-scale wetland restoration is long overdue to protect St. Bernard Parish in New Orleans. And Texas Democrats are speaking out loudly against the redistricting plan. They say silences voters and undermines democracy. From state senators to congressmen, party leaders are defending Representative Nicole Collier, who refused around-the-clock police escort after a walkout over the plan. With rallies and promises of legal action, Democrats say the battle over the maps will be lost in the Capitol, but not in the courts. And the future of a city-owned grocery store in Erie, Kansas is up in the air once again. The city purchased the Erie Market in 2020 with the goal of keeping a local store in town. 1 year ago, River Grocery LLC leased the store and took over operations, but staff have now been informed the company is going to cease operations by the end of August when River Grocery's 1-year lease with the city expires. Community members are now concerned about the future of the market and what it could mean for the area.
I guess if they have the money with the economy nowadays to drive to Schnute or Parsons to get groceries, then go for it. I don't. I'm on Social Security. I got hurt last year. I only have a little bit of money, so I try to do all my business in Erie.
We reached out to the grocery owner of River Grocery LLC for a statement. He agreed, but we are still waiting for him to send one. Well, Pitt State Theater announces its 2025 through 2026 season. Tickets are now on sale and are free to Pitt State employees and students. The first performance will be The Little Prince, running on October 23rd through 25th at 7 p.m. and again on October 25th and 26th at 2 p.m. Fun times at the 82nd Annual Lamar Free Fair. Yesterday, patrons enjoyed the carnival and rides, a gospel sing, 4-H youth demonstrations, food trucks, and livestock shows. The schedule for the rest of the fair includes several events and exhibitions like a swine show, a Lamar Art League exhibition, a goat show, a youth livestock judging contest, and music from the Griffin family.
Just the food and seeing all my friends here. Not a big town, so not much people get out a lot, so it's fun to see everybody around.
Well, there is no admission charge to get in, but ride tickets are available at the fair and can be also purchased for $20 at Community National Bank and Trust in Lamar, Arvis Bank, and Citizens Bank. The fair runs through Saturday night. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Gamers will pay more for Sony's PlayStation 5 starting today. Plus, a new kind of transportation is being tested off the Rhode Island coast. We'll have the latest. Time now, 6:38. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the Lamar Free Fair. In Consumer Watch, Google has unveiled its latest line of Pixel smartphones, but smartwatch and earbuds. The 4 new Pixel 10 models feature the company's most advanced artificial intelligence options to date. New features will improve users' ability to retrieve information, automatically create videos, and snap better photos. The new models range in price from $800 to $1,800. The Pixel 10 hits stores August 28th. And starting today, buying a Sony PlayStation 5 will be $50 pricier. The gaming console now costs $549.99 in the U.S., according to a company blog post. The digital edition is $499, and the PlayStation 5 Pro is $749.99. Sony cites a challenging economic environment as its reason for the price hike. And could this flying boat be the next big thing in travel? Regent Craft is testing its all-electric sea glider in the Narragansett Bay off the coast of Rhode Island. The airplane boat hybrid glides at speeds up to 180 miles per hour using physics similar to pelicans and other birds that skim the water. The company says it expects the first generation of sea gliders to be delivered in 2027 to multiple countries for use as a coastal ferry service for goods and people. Regent Craft says it also has contracts with the U.S. Defense Department. And that's it for Consumer Watch. And now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, got a really nice start to the day out there. Some temperatures slightly below normal. A few clouds to our east, otherwise clear skies. We're going to break down how long we're going to stay warm, and we're going to also talk about some rain chances and a big temperature drop next week when we come back. We'll also have birthdays and anniversaries. Time now, 6:43. Time now for some Thursday birthdays, and we are going to start in Columbus with Kira and Leah Layson celebrating birthday number 7. Of course, they are twins, and a very happy 7th birthday to the both of you.
And another set of twins celebrating their birthday in Parsons. Happy 11th birthdays to Maisie and McCall Scott Adamson.
And in Pittsburgh, Tanner Riddenauer celebrating birthday number 21 today. Says, so proud of you, son. Love charity, dad, and the family.
And a happy 52nd birthday to Marilyn Manley and Chanute.
And in Chatopa, Charles Bud Rooney celebrating birthday number 90 today. Says happy birthday from your family and church family.
And a happy 65th anniversary to Quentin and Jan Morrow in Fredonia. It says here, happy anniversary from children, grand and great-grandchildren.
And in Fort Scott, Dennis Helton celebrating birthday number 81 today. Very happy birthday to you, Dennis. And a very happy birthday and anniversary to all of you on our list. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise has some quick information you'll want to jot down.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and your anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMNewsNow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos and messages to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen. And to also please include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
It was very important information there. And we've got a pretty decent day lined up. Again, the last, not here yesterday, first day of school for the kids. So I was out there for that. But when I was with you on Tuesday, it was a very busy morning. We had a lot of things going on, nothing too crazy, just a lot to discuss. This time around, not nearly as much to discuss. We got this beautiful sunrise downtown Pittsburgh. Got just a few clouds to our east. Overhead, we are clear across the area. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. Again, it's a little busier, a little earlier now. School back in session in Joplin puts a few more folks out on the road a little earlier than usual. And of course, a very nice start to the day. Temperatures a bit below average out there this morning. Heading into the afternoon, we are looking at mostly clear skies. We'll have a light northeast breeze. Temperatures seasonably hot for us today. As we head into the afternoon and evening and then overnight and then into Friday, it's the same thing. Mostly clear skies. Temperatures tonight a bit below average. And wait till you see the extended forecast. And I'm going to get to that in a moment, but I'm going to tell you right now, for the last week of August, It's beautiful. If you haven't been with us yet this morning, haven't had an opportunity to see that, believe me, you are going to sit there and you're already going to feel refreshed once you see the extended forecast. Friday, though, again, seasonably hot, few clouds, not much going on Friday either. By Saturday, though, we'll start to go partly cloudy as we roll through the morning, so gradually increasing clouds out there. And by the afternoon, we'll start to see opportunities for some isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms, nothing widespread, and with the pop-up storm thing, most of us will be dry, but some of us might get a stray shower or storm, and then we've got more rain chances next week as well. For this morning, though, clear skies, low 70s to start our day. Will be about the mid 80s by 11 a.m. As we roll into the afternoon, our highs today again are seasonably hot, right about where we should be, around 90. However, it is still going to be a bit on the muggy side, so we're looking at heat index values that could be approaching the mid 90s, northeast winds at 5 to 10. Into the evening we go, still just a few clouds here and there, still a bit on the warm side initially, still upper 70s by 10, but look at these lows. How about that? Low to mid 60s. So we're dropping even further below average of calm winds out there. And we get our rain chances. So by Monday, early morning through the day, we could get some isolated to widely scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms out there. Remember, on this version of the future track, of course, this green, it's not rain everywhere all at once. It's just showing that's where our rain chances will be. And as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, this future track, I notice is not picking up on it as well, but we still will have at least some shower and thunderstorm chances as we roll into Tuesday and Wednesday. It's picking up on the cloud cover just right. It's just keeping the rain a little further south and west than what I believe it's actually going to be. But again, it won't be a lot of rain. Some of us will be dry, but we will get some rain chances. Now, if I had a drum available to do a drum roll, we're going to take a look at the extended forecast. And like I said, get ready for next week because it is going to be just absolutely perfect with the exception of some rain chances. So seasonably hot through the weekend, or at least the start of the weekend. Upper 80s by Sunday, not too bad. Sunny skies. Then we fall back into the upper 50s Sunday night. And then look at these highs, upper 70s and low 80s to start next week. We have those rain chances Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and look at our lows. Average lows about 69, 70. We're talking mid-upper 50s out there. And as we go through the day, we should be still about the upper 80s, low 90s, and we're going to be upper 70s, low 80s. And that continues toward the end of the week as well. A few more rain chances out there, but staying below normal. So much more like a late September week versus a late August week, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So absolutely beautiful. Soak in those numbers. They look fantastic. All right, while you observe those numbers, we're going to start to make some transitions. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., back to school shoppers are making choices helping their wallets and the planet. We'll have that story and more on Fox 14 at 7 a.m. Or, of course, you don't have to do anything if you want to stay with us right here on KOAM Plus. We'll be right back.
This is your Wake Up Recap for August 21st, the top stories to start your day. Iola city officials say they're fed up with repeat offenders ignoring yard nuisance orders. After handing out fine after fine with little change, city leaders are now pushing for a tougher ordinance, one that would allow them to step in, clean up the mess, and send the bill straight to the homeowner. Oklahoma authorities have launched an investigation into a plane crash that occurred at Grove Regional Airport. The incident took place yesterday morning when a private single-engine aircraft flipped over onto its top shortly after landing. Fortunately, the owner and pilot of the plane escaped with non-life-threatening injuries. Federal investigators are now working to determine the cause of the crash. And the South Middle School principal, Jacob Williams, has been honored as the Southwest Missouri Middle School Principal of the Year by the Missouri Association of Secondary School Principals. Williams received the award at a back-to-school assembly yesterday, celebrating with his family and district administrators. Congratulations, Principal Williams. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we are staying seasonably hot today. Highs about 90, mostly clear skies, still a bit muggy. Heat index values could approach the mid 90s. Northeast winds 5 to 10. So again, it's not awful, but still a bit uncomfortable. Mostly clear skies through the evening, still a bit warm, upper 70s by 10. But take a look at these lows, back below normal, back into the low to mid 60s with calm winds. Tomorrow we'll have a light northerly breeze, still seasonably hot, low 90s into Friday and Saturday. Our overnight lows, though, staying below average. Not bad Sunday, upper 80s, and then take a look. We got some rain chances to start next week. Average high still 89, 90, and we're going to be into the upper 70s and low 80s to start next week. We'll stay that way next week as well, with overnight lows well below average into the 50s and a few nights out there. So it's going to feel downright cold in the last week of August instead of as warm as it has been.
Right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making award-winning potato salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings with their Back to School series, looking at the risks from dangerous drivers in school zones and what's being done to protect students.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Captain Wolf explains road safety as kids are headed back to school.
Plus, cruise passengers describe the rockiest voyage they've ever experienced as ships navigate around Hurricane Erin. However, it's going to wrap things up for us for now. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.